Okay, I want to give you guys a heads up about what's going to take place at the beginning of this because I'm going to need your cooperation. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to send a text message out saying that I need immediate assistance in the high school gym. Mr. Pfaff is in a meeting right now in central office. He doesn't know we're all in here. Somebody's going to pick him up and bring him in here in a golf cart. And I want you guys to clap and cheer, however, because we have a lot of really fun things planned that we want to get through. It's really important that when that golf cart stops over here, that you guys know that's when I just want you guys to sit down and to get quiet. And then we're going to get things started, and it's going to move really fast. Is everybody ready? All right. Mrs. Dowd? Mr. Pfaff is on his way right now. Okay, so he'll be here just a matter of less than a minute, so shh. Shh. So they know they can watch on the screen? Maybe you can say. You guys can watch on the screen up here as he's coming in.
I'm going to put our water. Oh, cool. I'm taking my...
And here they come. Shh.
call from the Eastern Hancock School System. Please stay on the line for an important message.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Vicki McGuire, Superintendent for Eastern Hancock School. Today we will have an early dismissal to the high school gymnasium to celebrate Mr. Dave Pfaff's retirement. Have a royal day, everyone.
Welcome, welcome one, welcome all. This is a very special gathering for a very special man, Principal David Pfaff. This hour belongs to you, so sit back and relax and watch it all unfold.
That's about right. Okay, so the next hour is all about Principal Pfaff. And working with this man for the past 8 years, you get to know a person pretty well. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when you guys aren't here, our educational foundation, our central office, they feed us pretty well in the morning sometimes. Sometimes you guys come in and you smell bacon, sausage, pancakes. Well, when you retire, you usually talk about a bucket list, and you want to be able to check things off on your bucket list. And for the last couple of years, every time we have breakfast, I hear Mr. Pfaff say he sure wishes he could have a big plate of bacon, so much that he couldn't finish. So we're going to start things off and give him just that.
All for you. And of course, it wouldn't be right if we served any type of food for him unless we included what? Diet Pepsi, that's right. Now, I don't know if you all know this about Mr. Pfaff, but he does not like to be the center of attention. And so as his guidance department, we were very concerned when this started to be planned that we were going to make him very, very uncomfortable sitting out here in the middle, being the visitor of honor for an entire hour. So we decided that we better provide him with some comfort foods to go along with his bacon and his Diet Pepsi that would help him get through this hour. So we would like to first of all present
game of Name That Meme. So I've got some contestants, participants that know who you are, that I need you to come down right now, and I'm going to list them. First team, Landon O'Neill, Cameron Wise, Brady Ellis, Jaden Elslager. Next one, Bree Talby, Hunter Orr, Allison Kirkland, Dylan Boyer. Team 3, Aaron Pfaff, Amanda Pfaff-Rubel, Andy Pfaff, Sam Pfaff. And the 2 teaching staff teams, you should know who you are. Come on down. I got some bacon.
These are forks.
Okay. She's not here.
Heather!
Go. She doesn't want to. Atta girl! Okay. Most of us are familiar with this. What a meme is. We're going to name that meme. We're going to display a picture on the big screen. And each team's going to be given 20 seconds to come up with a matching meme to go with the picture. So let's go ahead and have picture number 1. 20 seconds. Name that meme. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to start down here. The faculty team, where's the chalk? Team Landon. When your jewel falls out of your pocket in class. Teacher team number 2. When you ask a history teacher what is on the exam, A, answer the past. Let's go again. When you ask a history teacher what is on the exam, answer the past. Team Bree. When the final is in 2 hours and you don't know what class it's in. And Team Pfaff, the Pfaffia, love it. Diet Pepsi location? All right. You choose. Which one do you like, Mr. Pfaff? The jewel. Okay, the jewel. All right. Picture number 2. Erase your boards, please, team. Yes, that is Mr. Pfaff. On a better hair day. You don't? Got one? Got one? All right. I'll start down this end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to start at Team Pfaffia first. All right, the meme down here is Willow Branch Mardi Gras. Team Bree. Reminiscing when you used to have hair. Oh. Feeling cute, might retire later, I don't know. Team Landon. When you fart in class and a little extra comes out. Prom, 1969. Note the lack of date. All right, winner, prom 1969. Next picture, please. Okay, we're going to speed up the process here. You're going to only get 15 seconds to come up with your meme. And go. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to start with whoever might be finished. Down here, the Pathia. And this meme says, "Sup, ladies?" When you what? When you haven't had a jewel break in 10 minutes. Hey girl, meet me in my office. When you're watching Endgame and Iron Man dies. And, okay, last one. Last one. All right, here's the last one. Shh. Teacher team, this last meme says, "I wish my third kid had been a boy. I wish my third kid had been a boy." What you like? Who do you like, Mr. Pfaff? This one, last one. All right, I wish my third kid had been a boy. All right, last picture, here we go. All right, finding a little humor. 15 seconds. All right, I'm going to start down at the Pfaffia again. And the Pfaffia team says, "Jane's not cooking tonight." Next team. "So you think you're going to graduate? LOL. Summer break for life, suckers. When you spoil Endgame for the entire school. And last one, Hibbert didn't screw up I-Step this year. Hibbert, number 2, right here. All right, team 2 gets it. All right, that ends our meme contest. What?
Do we roll these off?
Yeah. Go ahead and get them. Thank you, contestants. It looks like faculty team 2 would be the winner.
Introducing Seasons of Love.
No.
want me to?
I thought you were supposed to. Yeah, do it. You got this.
Okay.
You kind of have to talk kind of loud here.
Hey. No, never mind. Yeah, you're on here. What's that? All right, it's time for How Well Do You Know Your Principal? I need all the Kahoot teams to come down and claim a table. We don't want that up. They're going to join. Go look on the screen to join in.
Yeah,
Did
14181.
you get it? We shut it. Joe Billerman and Devin Brown, right?
I don't know, I wasn't told.
Joe Billerman, Devin Brown, if you're here, report to the senior table.
I don't see Mr. Adams.
Van Adams?
No, that's Adams.
Yeah. please do not join the Kahoot. We will kick you right out. Only players are on the floor. You guys good?
That's right.
You guys good? You're up there?
Hey, do not log in on Kahoot by your phones.
Are you?
Okay, then if they got a ringer, then I'll go someplace else.
All right, 6th grade, we have Olivia Evans, Luke Schilling, Cole Joyce, Stephanie Statello. 7th grade, Luke, Jacob, Alyssa, and Colton. 8th grade, Bryce Winnan, Steele Reeves, Sydney Hayes, Mira Hagan. Freshmen, Lexi Knight, Serena Masters, Gracie, and Kaylee. Sophomores, Jordan, Bella, Lainey, and Katie. Juniors, Paige, Anne Marie, Megan, and Leah. Seniors, Abby, Cassandra, Joe, Devin, and Aaron. Teachers, Hilgert, Mr. Adams, Mrs. Wisman, and Mrs. Scherger. Question 1, what is Mr. Pfaff's favorite kind of music? Country, classic rock, hip hop, or jazz? What superhero would Mr. Pfaff choose to be? The Incredible Hulk, Aaron Spalding, Wonder Woman, Superman. Juniors in the lead. Where did Mr. Pfaff go to high school? Gary Roosevelt High School, Greenfield Central, Denver Detention Center, Eastern Hancock. Juniors still in the lead. Mr. Pfaff has a 6-year-old grandson. What is his name? Kellen, David, Samuel, Aaron. What? Oh. Kellen! Juniors still in the lead. David is his first name. What is his middle name? Edward, Doolittle, Homer, or Bruce? David Bruce Pfaff. Juniors still in the lead. How many years has Mr. Pfaff been married to Jane? Seems like forever. 40, 33, 45. 40 years is the answer. Junior is still in the lead. What type of dancing does Mr. Pfaff prefer to perform? Line dancing, break dancing, ballroom dancing, in front of the mirror dancing. In front of the mirror dancing. Junior is still in the lead. Where was Mr. Pfaff born? Indianapolis, Greenfield, Willow Branch, at home. Greenfield was the listed answer, but I hear it was a trick question. If Mr. Pfaff were to have you over for dinner, what would he serve you? Pizza, fried bologna, shrimp linguine, spam. Fried bologna. If Mr. Pfaff could go to any sporting venue to watch a game, where would he go? Indy 11 Soccer, Indianapolis Colts, WWE SmackDown, Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati Reds. What sport did Mr. Pfaff play in high school? Synchronized swimming, baseball, football, gymnastics. Football. I did not write this quiz. Juniors for the win, followed by 7th grade, seniors, sophomores, and teachers.
Wow. Too much about Mr. Pfaff. TMI. So legend has it, when this school was built in 1971, a bowling alley was hidden somewhere in the school. And we believe that when Mr. Pfaff is hard to find, he has been secretly perfecting his game at this bowling alley. So we decided to go in search of this bowling alley, and here's what we found.
signature bowling ball signed by all the staff. Thank you, Mr. Pfaff.
In case you can't hear. You're welcome. Oh, too far. There you go. Yeah, kind of send it down the volleyball line so that there's...
What are we doing?
Down the volleyball line. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Right there. You're here. There you go. It all began back in 1979 when an eager young lad by the name of David Pfaff was hired to teach history at Eastern Hancock High School. He wasn't quite the legend that we all know and love way back then. His name is spelled P-H-A-F-F in that very first yearbook. Today from the class of 1980, we have Mary Gallagher. By the following year, Mr. Pfaff is voted favorite teacher in the yearbook, and a legend was born. Lori McDaniel Hayden represents the class of 1981. 1982 brings us Felicia Stevens Frazier. 1983 is Todd Carlton. 1984, Pam Willis Carlton. 1985 was a special year for Eastern Hancock and Mr. Pfaff. This was the year that Mr. Pfaff helped to coach the state champion football team. They left no doubts in the minds of anyone watching their march to the Hoosier Dome in their yellow pants that they were anything other than bad to the bone. Cheryl Vale Apple is here from 1985. 1986 brings us Darlene Apple. 1987, Dee Dee Addison. 1988, Jane Richardson Barton. 1989 is Mindy Cooper Delp. It was during this time period when young Elvis Pfaff and his little sister were often seen hanging out at girls' basketball practice. 1990, Brent Evans. 1991, for a brief time in 1991, Mr. Pfaff considered becoming a pumpkin farmer. The pumpkins he grew inside his powder blue Mercury Lynx were quite large, but paled in comparison to the massive number of pumpkins he was able to grow on his front lawn in Willow Branch. The winter of 1991 was particularly harsh. I'm told it was so cold that toilet paper would stay frozen to your car for a good long week. From 1991 and 92, we have apprentice pumpkin farmers Hope Conley Bell and Jenny Durham Toth. Stealing bacon, same as always. 1993, Becky Ford Hayes. 1994, Jessica Roberts Neal. 1995, Susan Kemp Collins. 1996, in addition to coaching varsity girls basketball, Mr. Pfaff added a small little time commitment to his already busy schedule. He took on coaching varsity football as well. Jane, did you even see him in 1996? 1997, Christy Lauder Brinson. 1998, Nathan Jackson. This was the year Mr. Pfaff became principal while continuing as the varsity football coach. When asked about his new role, he replied, "I told my kids and the faculty, I think this is the very best high school there is, and we're just going to make it better and better." 1999, Tiffany Ellis Wilson. In 2000, Mr. Pfaff was named Administrator of the Year. 2000 is represented by Aaron Elvis Pfaff. 2001, Brooke Melton Dodd. 2002, Keith Oliver. 2003, Mr. Pfaff becomes only the second principal ever in Eastern Hancock Middle School, Ashley Van Dyne. 2004, Amanda Pfaff Rubel. 2005, Aaron Welk-Walski. 2006, Winston Mayer. For anyone aspiring to become as revered as Mr. Pfaff, a good place to start is with his example. When interviewed by the Daily Reporter about all of his roles, he replied, if I can be of service to the kids and the school, I want to be of help." We see him live out this example every day. 2007, Sarah Hines Laska. 2008, Mike Spangler. 2009, Andy Pfaff. 2010, Mr. Pfaff was the Indiana Association of Student Council's Administrator of the Year for District 9, Nathan Johnson. 2011, Sam Pfaff. 2012, Kyle Eischen. 2013, Lindsay Bailey Eischen. 2014, Caleb Wallen. 2015, Cole Allen. 2016, as a token of their esteem and affection, the staff chipped in and sent the Pfaffs on a trip to tour Gettysburg over fall break. Alex Quillen is here from 2016. 2017, Jason Apple. 2018, Jacob Eischen. 2019, Alexander Burton. Mr. Pfaff has been contemplating what he will do with all of his free time. I believe he has considered opening an office supply store. I understand that he already has quite an inventory of staplers, pencil sharpener covers, fish tank plants, and doorstops. He may or may not have been involved in liberating some of these items from the 6th grade hallway. He says he's innocent. Mr. Pfaff, I know you hate all this fuss, but in the words of John F. Kennedy, we must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives, and you have made all the difference for us.
There's one of those.
When Mr. Pfaff was a young teacher in 1981, MTV debuted music television. We were hoping to incorporate some music into today's event, and so we wondered if Mr. Pfaff had any favorite music videos that had been on MTV.
Play some Freebird!
This isn't about you, Mrs. Dowd. So, maybe we didn't pick your favorite songs, but we hope that you enjoy the music videos that we've put together for you. this we'd like for the students to do. And then students, as you leave, if you have to catch the bus, then I do need you to go ahead and go out and do that. However, if you have time to stay, if you've drove and you have a ride home, we are not done yet, and this will continue for just a little bit after school is out because we have an open mic session, and I've invited some past employees to come and share a couple of stories. So, Mr. Pfaff, at this time, our students who love you have all written you letters for you to read to keep you occupied once you retire. So at this point in time, I'd like to invite the 6th grade down. Just wait. Mr. Pfaff, we'll have you stand right here by your mailbox. Okay, go ahead and come through. Sixth grade teachers, if some of you could head back down in that direction and then make your way back here, that would be helpful. Okay, following the 6th grade, 7th grade, very safely and slowly make your way down and follow the 6th grade. There is a basement though. Can Jenna Smith please make her way down to the floor? Jenna Smith, can you please make your way down to the floor? Derry and Jeannie, can you guys come front and center? Eighth grade, follow behind the 7th grade.
Really short, is that all right?
High school, please stay in your seat. When the mailbox But we've got these guys who are going to need a mic. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start sharing the stories from the three that are here. And then if anybody else would like to talk after that, then we will have an open mic. So if we could quietly, as you're going through, keep it quiet so that we can hear what these people have to say, okay? Students?
Mr. Pfaff, thank you for being the best principal ever. You have not only inspired so many people in school, but also in the community. From fun field trips to crazy convocations, we can't thank you enough.
Hey, Mr. Pfaff. I got a call not too long ago asking me to come to this and share some stories. Does that make you nervous? It should. Oh, wow. However, you can thank my wife because I told her some of the stories I was going to tell, and she said, you can't tell that one. You can't tell that one. You can't tell that one. My name's Darrell Hood. I taught science here for 42 years in the high school. I retired in 2009, and never fails when I'm out and about and something comes up and Dave Pfaff's name is mentioned, I always say, we spent an evening in jail once and watched the jaws drop. We did. It was at the old jail, downtown Greenfield years ago, and they contacted Mr. Pfaff and said, can you get some teachers to come for Halloween? We're going to have a haunted jail, and we'll put you in the cells, and you can scare people as they come by. So we had coveralls on, and Mr. Pfaff had a chainsaw with no chain on it, and we had masks on, and as kids came by, we jumped out and scared them. But I always tell people, we spent an evening in jail once. You know, teachers are humans. We laugh, we cry, we have good days, we have bad days, all kinds of things. We take a shower in the nude, usually, but we do crazy things sometimes outside of teaching. We had a swimming pool put in several years ago. We had a swimming pool put in, and my two kids went to Knightstown, and they were really young, and they were in the pool swimming around. We hadn't had it very long. So Dave shows up with Bob Copeland, the football coach, and they walk back, and I'm standing there. And the kids are swimming around, and you know what a Baby Ruth candy bar looks like? Dave unwrapped one and dropped it in the pool. And the kids kind of swam back, and Mr. Pfaff said, what is that? And boy, my kids, oh no, and they backed up, and I was in the pool. I said, did you do that? And the kids said, no. So I leaned down and picked it up, and the kids were going, ooh. And I brought it out of the water, and Dave says, give me that, I'll take that home. And I handed it to him, and he stuck it in his pocket. We had a lot of fun. I remember when Dave came as a new teacher, and we hit it off right away. And we've done some crazy things. We like to stand out in the hall in passing period and engage kids that stop and talk to us. And sometimes Dave would do it to me, I would do it to him, but this is the gist of the thing. Well, I was standing there, for example, talking to a student, and we had to pick and choose the right student so we wouldn't offend them, but it was fun. And I'm standing there talking to a student in passing period, and Dave walks up, faces me, looks me right in the eye, and says, you scab-chewing, buzzard-pus-eating maggot. And I can see out of the corner of my eye, and that kid's eyes get great big, and I said, Mr. Pfaff, don't talk to me that way. And he says, I'm not. talking to him. And we'd both turn and look at the kid, and his eyes would get great big, and he'd walk away. My kids didn't know Mr. Pfaff when they were younger, but they'd seen him at the pool, but they didn't know. And so our daughter was in high school, and she came home one day after school, and she said, "That was aggravating." I said, "What?" She said, "I was getting gas at Speedway, and some man came up and said, 'I think your turn signal fluid is low.' And he left." She said, "I turned the turn signal on to the left and went up in front and watched it blink and went to the back and watched it blink, turned it to the right and went to the front and went to the back. Went inside to pay for the gas and asked the guy," he said, "You know anything about cars?" He said, "A little bit." She said, "I had a man tell me my turn signal fluid was low." He said, "Somebody was pulling your leg. There's no such thing." And so one day we were over at the school for some function, a chili supper or something, and Emily said, "Dad, that's him." I said, "Who?" "That's the man that told me my turn signal fluid was low." We had to sell the car. She wouldn't drive it anymore after that. Dave and I used to speak what we call nebbish. This is neat. Nebbish was just nonsense stuff. He'd be standing in the hall and talking to kids, and I'd walk by and I'd say, and he would say, "No, and the kids would just look at us. So years ago, I have two grandsons that go to Eastern now. They transferred from Knightstown to Eastern. Mason McCorkle and Brennan McCorkle are my two grandsons. And Mason went to kindergarten here. This is, Dave really got on this one. Mason went to kindergarten, and he would ride with me. I'd pick him up, we'd come to school. At school, I'd take him home, so he rode to me to go to kindergarten. He liked to go down in the office because the secretaries always gave him candy after school. So we're down there one day, and Mr. Pfaff's in his office, and I told Mason, I said, "Mason, just stick your head into Mr. Pfaff's office and say, 'Habba nabba nabba.'" He said, "I don't want to." I said, "Oh, he'll think it's funny." "I don't want to." I said, "Mason, just stick your head around and say, 'Habba nabba nabba.'" So he did. He said, "Mr. Pfaff." Dave said, "Hi, Mason." Mason said, "Habba nabba nabba." And then Dave started back, they said, and Mason just kind of smiled and walked away. I guess a couple of weeks later, Mason's dad had him over here at school and the ball game, and Dave said the halls were packed and people out there. And Mason and Rich, his dad, walked by, and Mr. Pfaff stopped and looked at Mason with all those people around, and he said, "Hey, Mason, habba nabba nabba." He said, Mason looked at him like, "You're crazy," and walked on. Dave said, "I felt like an idiot." I got my notes here. I'm about finished here. Dave was always a great teacher, a great principal, and great friend. And I love him dearly. He's a great man. Eastern's a great school, in large part due to him. Oh, and did I tell you? We were in jail one evening.
Okay, we're not done quite yet, so if you'd like to stay, please stay. But if you do have to get to the bus at this time, those high school students, you can come and drop off your letters here and head to your lockers.
Oh dear. Oh, please. Please. No. Oh, Lisa.
I'll give you the chance. Can you check your phone?
I did.
Who cares?
You gotta hurry. Oh, no, he's not gonna take that picture, is he?
What?
He's not gonna take a picture for it, is he? He did.
I know that I have a couple of students that also wanted to share. If you're in the audience and you're wanting to come down and talk, maybe you can go ahead and get in line over here. Okay, and next up we have Mrs. Huntsinger.
Okay. I met Mr. Pfaff in 1988, and you guys will probably think that we're older than dirt. Well, we are. I covered his social studies class when Sam was born, and he was out for a long time. And as an appreciation, he gave me an evergreen tree. Well, I planted that evergreen tree on my farm, and I still look at it and think of Mr. Pfaff. Okay, okay. Many times I would bring him his favorite sandwich, fried bologna. He would savor over it, and he would look at it and would eat it only at lunch. My daughter Molly played basketball for him for 4 years. She said he was the #1 coach. He taught her skills, how to be competitive, and hard work. Now she is handing those skills down to little Molly, who is Kirsten. Molly's senior year, she ruptured her ACL, and Mr. Pfaff drove to Indianapolis to a Methodist Sports Center and went into surgery with Molly. He said 2 things about it. He said it was cold and he turned green, and he never wanted to see it in the operating room again. My oldest daughter, Jessica, is 43 years old now, and she will never forget his debates in high school in social studies class, and still remembers where his room was. Okay. This is hard for me. Imagine that. So, Eastern Hancock will never, ever be the same. I will never, ever forget my friend, Dave Pfaff. Enough said.
Okay, do we have anybody else who would like to come down and share a story at this time? Anybody on this side of the gym? Okay. Come on down. It's all yours.
Shocking, I've never talked in a microphone before. So, I'm Cody Flood, graduated in 2018, and I'll keep this short and sweet because thanks in part to my Eastern Hancock education, I have a job I have to get back to, and they expect me. So, when I was thinking about Mr. Pfaff and what stories could I tell that I feel like perfectly encapsulates who you are, 2 things that came to mind was 1, you know how to let kids be a kid, and you also have an unwavering expectation for the level of education we receive while we're here. And I can not be thankful enough for the education I received at Eastern Hancock. One story to highlight that, my senior year, I decided it was a great idea to dress as the Burger King man and run out on the field at halftime and do a little thing that was a popular commercial at the time. I thought it was hilarious. So did some other people. I didn't ask for permission to do that. And next Monday at school, somebody says something and says, "Hey, was that you on the field and the Burger King man? That was really funny." And I said, "Oh yeah, that was me." And then from behind me, I hear, "That was you?" And I turn around and there's Mr. Pfaff. And what does he say to me? "That was really funny." And that was the end of the conversation because he knows how to let kids be kids. And finally, the first time that I came back to visit Eastern after I had graduated and went to college, the first conversation we had, you asked me how I was doing, how school was, and the third thing was, what could we have done better to prepare you for college? And that's exactly who you are as a principal, and thank you for that.
Is there anybody else? Well, I'd like to thank all of you, especially this side of the room, for making the trip out here. Oh, we do have one more. Uh-oh.
Dave and I started here together in 1979. And he's a great person. Always has been, always will be. But I will share this one story that Hood kind of opened the door. So, we're all adults, correct? I don't know the lay of the land here as it was back in the 70s and 80s, but the teacher's lounge was right over here. I don't know if it's still there or not. Well, it was. And he and I were sitting in there having the usual adult conversation that you have on your free time. And the topic came up about igniting a person's gas. This is your principal. So the next thing I know, the conversation has quickly evolved into, let's give it a go. So, your future principal backs up to the microwave that's over there. And he's given it his best effort. And I'm sitting there, and I said, "Dave, don't look now." But across the courtyard, there was about a half dozen people in the library that had now lined up at the window and were watching him. That's my story. Dave, I love you. You are the best.
Thank you. Last call. Anyone? All right, thank you all for coming out today. We truly appreciate you coming and celebrating the 40 years that Dave has put into Eastern Hancock. I would suggest adults, maybe you might want to wait around a couple of minutes and let the students exit the parking lot before you try to.